I'm Stefan Baumann, and I want to welcome you to my studio. Today, we're in for a special treat because I'm interviewing one of my students, and he's given us a little bit of the behind the scenes interactions of what it's like to work with me. Plus, we get to see an artist that is slowly breaking out and making a career for themselves. So, if you were ever interested in becoming a professional artist, this video would be for you because it is just at the moment where an artist decides this is what they want to do for the rest of their lives. I often say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And a lot of times people say, well, I want to be financially secure. I want to have enough money for kids and stuff. And even at 60, you could proclaim at that moment, I want to be an artist. Well, what does that take? And what is it like? And what is it like when we actually make that moment, that decision, that point in our life where we decide we're going to do something that we want to do for the rest of our lives? So sit back, enjoy this conversation I'm having with this artist. And it's a new series that I'm going to be bringing out on YouTube. So you want to make sure that you highlight the subscribe button and listen in, and I'll talk to you on the other side. I'm here with Michael Atkins, and he is a Canadian artist. He's also one of my coaching students, and he is starting to think that being a painter is a pretty cool thing, and he wants to do it for the rest of his life. Let's just hop in to see, when did you start painting? Where did this all start?
Well, thanks for asking, Stefan. I started painting about 7 years ago now, and I wanted to put something new in my life. I've always been attracted to being outdoors, and I thought I want to learn how to paint. Started with the Bob Ross thing, got some paint brushes, and was smacking my brush, to get the turpentine off, just like
I
he does in
love
his
that.
videos.
That's one
And
thing I used to love with Bob Ross is that I actually made a wooden version of his box with the poles in it. And when I paint big paintings, I like flipping it because it does dry your brush really fast.
Yeah, it's in a small studio though, not the best thing. You get a lot
Yeah,
of
no, it's a
airborne turpentine, but I had a good time. And he just, I wanted to do more though. There was Bob does a great thing for artists who want to learn, and I sort of went as far as I could with Bob, and watching other videos presented by other artists too. But at a certain point, I thought I can't go any further on my own. I was producing paintings that were sellable, getting somewhere with it, but I knew as an artist, I'd hit a wall. Really, I couldn't go any further on my own. And I'd been watching your videos for a few years, and I thought Stefan's got something here that's really cool, a really complete package of information for artists, including your keys, your 12 keys. And what really turned me on a lot was watching your plein air uh, PBS programs in the national parks. And watching those, I realized, okay, it's possible to go out and knock off a painting in a few hours. And I thought, this is what I want to do. I got to master this because I felt that if I could go outdoors and get a painting done in 2, 3 hours, then I've mastered something. I've accomplished part of my goal of being uh, an artist who can actually go out, capture what I see, put it on some canvas, and bring it home and
Mhm.
share it with people, and also relive the moment that I was out there painting. That's a lot of fun. I really enjoy
Yeah.
that. It's like having your vacation twice or your holiday twice, or
It's
you
like
know.
forever. Yeah, it's amazing when people come to my house and I have boxes and boxes of all these paintings that I did on my trip, and they're like, "Well, what if I buy one of these?" And I go, "No, no, you can't." It's like no, and they go, "Well, you got to kind of finish it. I get that, but and I go, "That's my trip. Those are like, this is like my collection of my memories." And yeah, I go through them once in a while, and I do have to sell them. I do have to get rid of them. And one of the reasons why I need to get rid of them is in case there's a fire. I have a collection of my whole life in these boxes. And literally, I could just disappear as an artist because you have to have so much volume of paintings out there to really get recognized. I mean, one of the great things about Van Gogh is that he painted so much that, there's every museum can acquire an original Van Gogh as opposed to a Vermeer. Yeah, Vermeer's a little bit, yeah, he painted what, 30 paintings his whole life. So it really is about uh, getting a collection of stuff and getting it out there. So I kind of get that. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead and tell us. So you want to be a mini me and go out to the national parks, the paid outdoors, and what attracts you to that?
Well, I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and we have some of the most amazing scenery. Uh, from most places in the city, you can see the mountains or the ocean. Uh, a lot of the year, these mountains are still snow-capped, uh, and it's so captivating. Um, Close to my home, I can walk right down to Burrard Inlet, which is an inlet that's coming off the Pacific Ocean. And we have whales going down there, large ships. I like to get out there and and capture it, put it on paint, using paint, putting it on canvas.
Hmm.
And um, and I guess getting my equipment together, I got a nice backpack, got everything in there, and a panel carrier and my easel. And I feel almost like an explorer in a way, getting out into the woods, trudging along a small path, and getting to a location that I had scouted out earlier and seen and thought, okay, this is a good scene. I want to get this onto a painting.
Hmm.
And I find getting out there and doing that. And often while I'm doing it, I'm just wondering and thinking, oh my God, what's happening here on my canvas? Is it turning out? Is it working?
Yeah.
And then as the process goes along, at the end of my time, I go, oh wow, I've got something. I got a memory, and I feel like almost like an explorer who's accomplished something, like going deep into the jungle and coming back with some kind of artifact or something. Getting out into the woods and creating a painting and getting it home again. For me, I find that's it's a good discipline. It's just to have that complete uh, ability to go out and do that, the knowledge to do it, and now, with what I've been learning from you, to really do it confidently. I can go out there and I can see a scene, and I can think, okay, this is the concept that I want to get on the canvas, the focal point, how the light's going to work, and just getting the lines, the eye magnets. Think about all these things, and just getting them onto that picture. And in the end, after having applied all these things, having something that looks really cool that I can come home with, show to people, post up on Facebook and get lots of likes, that kind of thing. It just feels like I've mastered something. Like at this point in my life, I really wanted to learn something new, and painting has really filled that gap. And I'm finding now, just recently, that now I'm much more confident about going out and what I'm doing. I'm not struggling with the painting anymore. I can see what I'm painting. The palette's right there beside me, but I barely got to look at the palette. I've got my primary colors there, working with the warm and the cool, and I can just sort of gaze at the scene, and then the brush is doing this, and then bang, it's up on the canvas. So I've got a confidence now to knock a painting off in ways that I didn't before. I've As a plein air painter, when I really got into it first, I challenged myself to go out every day for 30 days. This was just before COVID was announced. There was a whole month of January before that, and I challenged myself to go out every day, and I did. And uh, and I realized this is something I should do more. Definitely do more of. And from there, uh, I got boxes, of panels, tons
Yeah.
and tons of paintings. Some of them been sold. Others I just sort of cherish, and they're special because they're moments where I had breakthroughs out in the field. And I go, oh, okay, that works. I got to remember that one. Yeah, like I was talking about having boxes and boxes of paintings here, wooden panels. There's some above me here. There's some behind me. There's some in my bedroom. Yeah, certain paintings are very special. They're not necessarily great works of art, but I keep them because they're moments of just breakthroughs that I've had as a painter.
Mhm.
And well, just the way the paint worked that day, or the warm and the cool worked, or I got my perspective right, or the leaves on a branch and a tree just came out in a certain way, and I want to remember, oh, that's what worked. Okay,
Mhm.
I want to keep that one because it just shows me a time and a moment in my painting, in my journey with this painting is when a breakthrough came along. So I've got a bunch of those that are special, that are really just, kept in a box, not really for display. And there's others that I'm really, really proud of and are, going to be framed. And some of them have been sold already, which is always a nice
Mhm.
validation as an artist that other people are liking what I'm doing.
The way that you're sounding, you said you've only been painting for 7 years.
Yes,
But
yes.
you look like a seasoned artist. You're talking like a seasoned artist. It's like you must spend a lot of time thinking about paintings. I mean, it must be so prominent. I mean, what do you do for a living?
I'm a carpenter. I do renos, residential renos. I'll gut a basement and put a whole, one bedroom suite down there.
Well,
But
you don't sound like a carpenter. You sound like a craftsman, like the
I
old kind that would show up with a tool chest and have the old
yeah,
tools.
yeah, the drill with the kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, with the coaching, one of the first things you had me paint was a glass of water. I did that. It sort of looked like a glass of water. Wasn't a great work of art, but it was a glass of water.
That's
And
when you first started coaching with me. That's
yeah,
kind of where we started.
yeah. And remember you telling me about I should get one of these lights, a proper light, because I was using just like an LED light bulb in my
Mhm.
studio, which really I couldn't focus and point the light. So I got myself a proper spotlight with the barn doors on it, so I could focus and point the light.
I mean, from when you started coaching to like where you are now, I mean, you're just applying the stuff that I felt was missing. You're just applying it to your work prior. Do you see a huge difference?
A tremendous difference. I'm getting the results I want, and that delights me. It makes me feel good. Makes me
Yeah.
feel more confident about my art. The coaching made me focus more on lighting. Like you talk about lighting, the effect of light. We're not painting things, we're painting the effect of light. So with a bit more practice, I was able to get my head around that and use that to create a focal point that makes a picture much more interesting. One of the things I noticed that was my paintings had a bit too much light in them. I needed more shadow. My paintings needed to be a little darker. I'm now much more able to create an interesting focal point and create this effect of light, creating that effect by using the cool colors and the warms properly. And it's taken my art to a level, has brought it up to a level that I'm really feeling good about. And I see also now about what might be lacking in other people's paintings. I do see great artwork online, but they're they're missing the focal point and they're missing the lighting. And I can see that if they just added that extra little bit there that you talk about, these good paintings would be just incredible masterpieces.
Yeah.
And and this is what I want to continue putting into my art, because the coaching does something. Even though we don't see each other, the conversations we have and the things that you point out for me to think about and include, something happens there. There, it works, man. It really works. You got something that's really special. It's part of it is that I want to get this done because it's an assignment you've given me. You're a person who I do have a lot of admiration for online, from the work I've seen you've been doing and the way you present your information. and getting to talk to you, talking to you on the phone each Monday morning at 11 is you're the same guy that I see on the videos. Like,
Yeah.
wow, this is the guy. This is for real. He
And
is for real. He's not a phony.
I'm pretty approachable. I mean, you call, in fact, everybody who calls up, they go, "Oh my God, you answer the phone." And yeah, I do. I had somebody say that, well, you got 100 coaching students. How can you be a good coach? And I go, I get into people's lives. It's like, I kind of view when I work with a student, at first it's, a couple of things, but, you and I became friends really quickly on. It's hard to create art in a vacuum. And if you have a comfortable conversation with another artist, and I look forward to our calls. I look forward to every one of my students' calls for all different reasons. And I started doing these interviews with my students primarily just to give them an opportunity to have something that they can advertise their work with. I did it because these people are awesome. I mean, I just to see you grow in 6 months and see what a profound difference that does. This is just a moment. We'll get back to the conversation, but I wanted to break it up. But realize that for some people, this is an opportunity and not a burden. But if you want to bypass this, just bypass this conversation and get back to the conversation with Michael. I'm Stefan Baumann, and I would love to introduce you to a new book that I just wrote on plein air painting. After 40 years, I finally sat down with one of the best authors that I could possibly imagine for this project and put together everything I know about painting outdoors. And this isn't just an outdoor painting book. No, these are techniques that you can bring into the studio, and they apply to watercolors, acrylics, gouache, and oil. You will be amazed at what you will learn with every turn of the page, every paragraph. We have worked through my videos, my information, my books, my blogs, and brought it all together. And over 2 years of editing, we brought it down to just the facts. This painting book has over 400 pages and almost 500 illustrations. If you see my videos and if you read my blog and you follow me on YouTube, you know that there's a lot of information. There's a lot of things you don't know that you don't know. I'm amazed at the quality of this book, the pages. It's a field guide. It's a book that you would take outdoors with you and paint on location. It's been organized so you could find your way through my keys. This book explains 40 years of teaching and knowledge one-on-one. All the information that I possibly know about painting is in this book. So run, don't walk, and order this book today.
Get this book. It's awesome.
I had a student sign up yesterday. He's been painting for 30, 40 years professionally, and he sells paintings, but he wonders why he doesn't get that edge in competitions, and he doesn't, why he doesn't get accepted for things. And I said, oh, and I knew what it was, and then he sent me his work, and he's an amazing artist. I mean, a lot of teachers would be, nervous on taking an artist at this stature. Yeah, and he's taken from some of the best art teachers out there, brand names, that you hear about all the time. And he goes, nobody teaches like this. But that's how come I can have 100 students and have them feel like they're the only ones. I am so passionate about you becoming a great artist that I am on the journey with you. And like I said, I started these interviews because I want to be able to give you more so that you can start getting your name, your brand, yeah, everything that you want to associate with. I want to be able to give that to you because I have some success. But no, I want to get a group together that ultimately, as a group, we kind of do like a Graham view thing where, it's 100 artists doing this philosophy of lighting and landscapes and plein air painting and then tour the world.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be fabulous? So
There,
you're
I will
part
be
of
there.
my.
And I'll be there. I
Oh,
tour
yeah,
the
definitely.
world.
My mission statement when I started painting from the very, very, very beginning is to touch, move, and inspire millions of people. And with my television show, I was able to get a lot of artists. Did you ever watch my TV show back in when it was
When
on?
it originally was aired, no.
Yeah.
Um, like I don't even know if it was broadcast up here in Canada or
It
not.
actually was. That's why I asked. A lot of the people that are painting now go, I remember seeing your stuff. You inspired me to do this. The reason why I'm a plein air painter is that I watched the Grandview. Part of my mission is to touch, move, and inspire millions of people, and I can't do that unless I have artists like you going out and teaching and doing what you're doing. It's just part of my mission. So in a way, I'm using you.
Yeah. Well, you've you've definitely touched, moved, and inspired me. The series, the national park series, that really grabbed me. That really did grab me because I the it's almost like a romantic, passionate mission to get out and paint. And I saw you're out there doing it. You're just not in the backyard doing something that's safe and easy. You get out, you're hiking around. You have a nice story to go along with each park. So I'm getting educated about the park and the history and the people there. And then you move on to painting the incredible scenery of these parks and seeing how you do it. You're with a very minimal palette. You keep it really simple.
We gotta save some secrets for people who want to take coaching. But
It's true.
actually,
Yeah.
the thing is, it's all in this book. The ultimate planer guy. Oh, you've got it too. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Recognized as a Canadian artist, a master of what he's doing. Some be holding workshops or private lessons, that type of thing too, and showing people what I've learned because uh, we can paint pictures, but then we can paint something that's really art, something that's that step up beyond just a picture. And one of my personal passions is painting. I really do enjoy getting outdoors, painting, and having something to show for that.
Wow.
And I find I'm getting a hold of I'm getting my head around these things, and my hands are getting used to doing these things. I'm getting a repertoire of mark making and color mixing and composition, and those things have all come together and are contributing to the my ability to create more than just a painting. It's becoming art that's now going to communicate. Like in the book, you talk about the concept of a painting, and that what hit home to me with your definition of concept is what you want the person to know or feel after seeing the
Mm.
art. So there's knowing something. So a person seeing the art goes, okay, there's a mountain and a glacier and a tree near Mike's home. Oh well.
When I was putting this book together with Mary Boudreau, oh my God, it was like, I had to take all of these ideas of what's out there, my opinions and stuff, and really start to filter what art is and what it is, what we're after with this whole painting thing. It's a lot. And after teaching for 40 years, you have a lot of opinions and stuff. And when you mention, just understanding you got to have a concept, but not just an idea of something to paint. Part of that concept is the conversation of what the person's going to get. And so that was kind of like an opening for you, wasn't it?
It was a real eye opener, actually a world changing eye opening because initially when I learned to paint, it was more about me. Oh, I want to learn to paint. I want to know how to paint, which is a good start, a very good start. I was ambitious, but there's more than just me in this world. The art, the art part of art involves the viewer.
Mhm.
That's, I think, the important part. We can create things that make us feel good and give us memories, which is really nice, which is important. But to have the viewer experience more than just what I'm seeing at the scene, to I want them to also experience a little bit more of what I'm wanting to add to it as an artist to elevate the aesthetic of the scene and just bring more to the viewer. And that would include a feeling that that might be stirred in them of a time once in their life, or a time that they have an ambition to go and experience. So I'm hoping some of my art can evoke some of those things that aren't just present in the scene.
Is that you use the word hope. And so I hope to be a millionaire. I hope to have a Rolls Royce. I hope to have, so we can go through with hoping. But I think, and this is the whole thing behind coaching and programming your brain for success, is that you would say something, what I'm aiming to do is to create feelings that embody, the viewer, that they can relate through my work. And just changing your language can actually push you forward in what it is, regardless of whatever you do.
Yeah.
Make
Well,
sense?
yeah. Oh, yes. Well, yeah, hope is sort of, yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty in that word.
Yeah. And
Aiming
just
means I'm more determined, I'm more focused.
so part of the coaching thing, and we've done coaching for like 6 months, but part of my coaching is to be listening, because it's just these little things that you don't know them. And all of a sudden you sit there and go, well, I hope to be a good artist, or I'm aiming to be. We don't decide on something, we choose it. And once we choose it, we focus in to go where we want to go. I admire anybody who who takes that moment to give me a phone call, because right at that moment, you're now aiming yourself towards a target. Just picking up the phone and doing that. And 6 months ago, you were like, doing art, painting pretty pictures and all that. And then you picked up the phone and I said, hello. And
Yeah.
then, and you told me, I said, what were you thinking? And you're like, and I said, I love this guy. This guy, these are the gems that I look for. And if I don't hear those things, I try to find people that want it so bad, and I make them feel it so that it's not a hope anymore, that they actually can do this. And it's surprising that our attitude towards something can actually cause something to happen. And you picking up the phone, calling me at that moment, the world changed for you.
It did. It did quite a bit. It was a moment where now I'm speaking to a man who knows what he's doing, and he's doing what I want to be doing.
Hmm.
And I, I knew I needed to connect with someone who was doing what I admired and was successful at it. And I think uh, we need that in our lives as artists, because someone has to take a look at what we're doing uh, with their experience and say, hey, you can go this way, or you can do that, or maybe you should do this. Because you never you actually every conversation has been very encouraging. You've always It was never harsh criticism. It was always, Mike, you should do this. You should try. How about trying this or that? It's been very empowering. You're still leaving me to be the artist I am, but you're saying, hey, Mike, try this. Your shadows are a little wrong. Do this. Just
Yeah. And even in these conversations, it's like I listen and you say, "Oh, your shadows are wrong." I would never say that. I would say something like, "Well, what's missing for me is that your shadows need to be a little lighter." So it's like there's never that kind of like, "Oh, you should, you should, you should." It's always like, "Well, I see this. I think this," but you still have the room to bring your own decision, because I don't want you to be a mini me, because I can't stand the competition. But I want you to become the best artist that you could possibly be and retain as much of who you are as you move forward. And
Mhm.
speaking of which, what is your future as a painter? I mean, you've come up with some ideas, and you just in the last couple of weeks, I've noticed that you're starting to think about getting your artwork out there, and some ideas that you're playing around. What's going on in that head at this point?
Well, I've been putting my website together. I got a michaelatkins.ca. I'm putting together a website that's a proper marketing website, so I can take orders, that type of thing. And I've been thinking about well, just a bio for myself, just
Mhm.
like what's important about my life that sort of contributes to myself being an artist, and then thinking about a mission statement, and then thinking about the genres and the styles that I'm painting in. So I
Six
had
months ago, did you ever think that you would be talking about mission statements and bios? I mean,
no, not at all, not at all. This is a step. I knew I wanted to do something. I didn't know exactly how to do it or what I should be doing it or how to present myself as an artist. Getting a website. I had sort of a website before. It now looking at that, I thought, okay, that's not going to fly. No one's going to be very interested in me as an artist looking at that. So now I've created, uh, getting the bones together of a good website, and now I'm picking, well, what art I want to get up there,
mm,
learning how to describe it properly so it's engaging for buyers or just lovers of art. And months ago, I didn't know where I was going to go with this. Now I got a much better definition of myself as an artist. Like, what is my mission as an artist besides painting pictures? Like, what do I want to do with this art?
do you find our conversations that we have uh, help you in that?
Yes, an awful lot, because it's giving me some parameters on my art, just a better idea of what I want to put into my art, not just who I want to present the art to or the subject matter, the overall creation of my artwork. I'm much more confident about what I'm doing and the direction I'm going, and the painting, the paints and the materials that I'm going to be using to do this.
Yeah,
Um, it's I just find with the coaching and having your book too. Having your book is so cool because I'm not just looking at videos online hoping to
mm,
pick a little piece out of here and there. Because speaking with you directly, it I'm getting the real tidbits. It's not
yeah. Well, what I find is that you can watch all the videos that you want. What you don't know is what you don't know, and you don't know that you don't know it. And a lot of people watch a video of mine and then they engage asking about coaching, and they come on and say, "Oh, I just watched that video yesterday." And after our conversation, I get a phone call from them going, "I just rewatched your video." You go, "Oh my God." It was as if I never heard it in the first place. It's like you need to pull it together, and it's not because you're getting a reference from my end. You're actually figuring out how to fit all this information into what you know. And it's pushing a little info here, pushing a little info here, and it kind of fills in the gaps. I mean, you cannot learn advanced math without taking an algebra class. There are things that you have to know. And so when people call up and go, I can't win contests, I don't know what lighting is, all that, we need to go back into actually describing what is going on with light. And from the very first phone call, we talked about the red, yellow, blue, and temperatures and all this stuff. And remember, thinking about putting it through a prism and what it is when we see a rainbow. That's the kind of basic information that a lot of art teachers totally bury because they assume you've had that in eighth grade or ninth grade. But knowing this, even if you think you know it, how does that work into visually with our paints? Because that's such a crazy. And people go, "Well, I can't mix colors and stuff." It becomes so easy when you understand what it is, what we're looking at. And I talk about Mrs. Gugolinski, paint what you see. And when she first told me that, I said, "Listen, I need more than that. That's just what everybody says." But that little thing that I walked over
Yeah.
became the most important piece of information that I still teach. Understanding what's in front of you makes you see it differently than if you just casually walk by.
Oh,
When you get that, it's actually kind of simple. Have you noticed that painting is actually simpler than you thought it would be at this point?
it is. Yes. Now that I've learned what I should be thinking about and not and discarding information that I really shouldn't be using because it doesn't apply. But I do walk around now looking at everything as how would it be a composition in one of my paintings.
Mhm.
Every day, whether I'm driving, walking around, even on my job, I would I look at things and look at scenery, and I thought, how do I paint that? How would I paint that?
Yeah.
How would I get a composition out of that? And that's that's I'm doing that every day, 24 hours a day now. I think even in my dreams, I'm probably like, oh, how,
Yeah,
but
well, it's a good thing you're single, so you could use all that time to do that. And ladies, he's single. No, I don't know if you
and I
want
can
that
paint,
out there. Huh?
and I can paint.
And you could paint too. Just imagine if you want to become a painter, you could travel with this man to the national parks in his van and paint the rest of your life with somebody who's not only good looking, but passionate about what he does.
Right.
But the thing is, it's really, what I try to do when I coach people, and I noticed it in your work, is that compositions are really kind of easy once you kind of figure out where they need to go. I mean, these people who teach these complicated paintings of verticals and horizontals and diagonals and all this stuff, it really is just a couple of placements and how you put light on things that really makes the composition work. And I
Yeah.
noticed with some of your paintings, they're really simple. That one painting of the tire on the log is really elegant. Once you actually, sent that to me, I've been sharing it with a lot of people. I go, look at this is just amazing. And it's not a grand thing. It's actually just a really simple moment. And I think that's what attracts people is that when you kind of get that, it's autobiographical. It's about what you witness and see. And when we started this conversation, I was like really excited, and I wish we had a little more time and can go into it. But you were talking about being on the Puget Sound because you live in Vancouver, right?
It's Burrard Inlet. That's the waterway that's closest to me, coming in off the Pacific.
You can get out there and paint that. But what do you think about you can actually see the whales and all this stuff? Is that immediately I'm getting like this incredible, like, wow, what a great possibility for your art. And we need to get you out. You need to put down the hammer and you need to pick up a brush and you need to go out there and do it because, you're just on the verge of just exploding. And I'm so proud of you. I just really am. And that's why I asked you to do this with me because if I want to show what we actually are doing, you're a perfect example. So here we are again at the part of the video that I'm going to show you is a video of me talking to one of my students on location. If you want to bypass this, just bypass it and carry on with the conversation. If not, there might be an opportunity for you in Las Vegas, and you can listen to what that opportunity might be. I'm Stefan Baumann, and this is the last day of our workshop here in Nevada, Southern Nevada, actually. And we're painting the Valley of Fire, which is absolutely amazing. But we're coming up here, there's artists all around us. As you can see, we're going to go walk up and see what he's doing and see whether or not he's having a good time right now. Hello, artist. How are you?
Hello,
So,
Stefan.
who are you?
My name's Kevin.
Kevin what?
Kevin Jones.
Kevin Jones. That's a name you need to remember because he's just on fire. What are you planning on doing after you leave here?
Painting some more. It's so exciting. Every stop is a beautiful new adventure. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to
You're
spending
going to
the
go
rest
to
of
my
the day.
next workshop in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. I'm going for a small road trip in between workshops, headed through California on the backbone up 395.
Unbelievable.
And, yeah.
Going
just can't wait.
Yosemite and Lake Tahoe, and then
Yeah, doing
and then
some painting.
he's going to do my next workshop, which is just fabulous. So, how are you enjoying this?
Oh, it's a blast. Yeah, I can't
Are
wait
you
to get to
surprised at the scenery here in Southern Nevada?
Yes, the colors especially. If you come through the wrong time of the day, it kind of looks flat and brown. But
Yeah.
in the sunlight in the early morning and late evenings, it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal display. And to try to capture it is such a challenge. Learning how to do it is one of the most fun things.
Are you learning something?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's this craziest thing. You're having fun, and you realize slowly you're getting better. So, yeah, learning a lot. And
Do you
having a
see
blast.
yourself doing this like the rest of your life?
I don't see myself being able to stop.
Ah, it's a good. I was a little afraid there where you're going to go, actually, no, I'm not doing this anymore. But actually, it's actually wonderful. It's that. And you haven't been doing this a long time either.
No, under a year. I was very, very hesitant to make that first call. And I'm so glad.
What was the first call?
The first call was to dial Stefan Baumann's phone number.
It's not a commercial for me, I assure you. It's just what happened.
But to call up and say, hey, I want to do this. I'm interested in this, but I need some help, you know. And it's not going to be a lot of exercises and
No color wheels, no notons, no drawing stuff. You just jump right into it and do it, and you learn from what not to do by making those not to dos, right?
and having an enthusiastic, supportive coach friend who can help me along this journey.
So it's not that complicated because well, first thing when people say, "Well, Vegas, what's there to paint in Vegas?" and wow, the scenery out here is just spectacular. You can imagine what this is like. But it's something that you kind of just nibble on until you get it. It's not so overwhelming.
Right.
So, so if you are planning on going to learn how to paint on location, what would you suggest a newbie to do?
First of all, buy Stefan Baumann's latest book,
The Ultimate Plein Air Guide.
The Ultimate
I
Plein
didn't
Air
ask
Guide.
him to say that either,
Right.
but the thing is, it's kind of a Bible.
Yes, and it doesn't even matter if it's not plein air. You're going to learn something in this book. It's well laid out, well put together. And if that's the first step, but I really recommend if you're interested in learning how to do this and come into a workshop, make that phone call and talk to Stefan Baumann.
Yeah, and you
won't regret it. There's no commitment. You try it, you don't like it.
Well, the thing is that though it's not so over the top, and you don't have to have a lot of knowledge. You actually come out here, we paint. You're not learning my method. I just make you better.
Right. A year ago I was an absolute and total beginner, and I'm still got a long way to go, but I'm increasing in confidence by the day.
Yeah, I just can't. Whenever I hear people, because they would watch my television show and stuff, and we painting in the parks, and they would always go, when I grow up and retire, I want to do this for a living. And, it's so awesome that I'm able to do that for artists. And so you really inspire me.
Oh, for human beings, people that are having dreams, and you're helping them achieve that at, maybe just the time they thought it was out of reach.
Yeah, and it starts off with phone coaching, to kind of get you going, which didn't take long. How long have you been with me?
10 or 11 months.
Yeah, under a year you're painting. Yeah, all these people that have you do color wheel and notons and drawings and stuff, you're wasting your time. Come out and try this for yourself on the spot.
It's hands-on.
Hands-on. Make the mistakes. Let's figure out what's missing, and we'll just fix that and carry you on. Before long, a year from now, you could be out here at my next Vegas workshop. So
I plan on being here, and I hope to see you too.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, so if you're interested in joining us in our workshop, just go to my website, stefanbaumann.com, and there, a little pop-up window, those annoying things pop up. Anyway, so fill that out. You actually download a free book, which is like 80 pages. There you'll kind of get an introduction to some of my plein air stuff, some history, and some of my artwork. But that will keep you in the loop. You'll be part of my mailing list. If you want to order the book, you can go to stefanbaumann.com, and there is an order form for the book. And it's not necessary, but you'll learn a lot from it. I didn't spend 40 years learning how to paint just to not have my own ideas and things, and you'll be amazed that this is a lot easier because I've broken it down very, very simple steps. And then who knows, you'll get information about my workshops in Mount Shasta or in Vegas or wherever else I plan to do, and you'll become an artist and you get to travel and paint. What better life could that possibly be? So get on my website, stefanbaumann.com, or just give me a call at 415-606-9074. My students know that I answer all of my phone calls myself. There's no secretary. You will be directly dispatched to my ear, and I'll ask you, so what were you thinking? You go, I want to try one of those workshops. And I'll say, I'll register you right now. That easy. It's fun. So anyway, if you get a chance, go to my website, find out more information. Until then, keep your brushes wet, and always remember, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. except bears. Bears will kill you. Bye bye. Yeah, one of the biggest problems that people have when I do coaching with them is yeah, I'll ask them to do something like a self-portrait, and they totally are confronted. When I asked you to do a self-portrait of yourself, how did you feel?
Really, really nervous because painting landscapes is one thing, but getting looking at my own face, well, that's one of the things is like I actually had to look at myself and see myself, look closely, and there's things have changed. I'm not 20 anymore. I'm 64. So looking at myself and seeing really what's there, that was well, I don't know the word for it, but it was it was a special moment. That's all I can really say. But to see who I am, that's what I look like, and then painting that, and I realized um, you can if you get your eye or nose out of place, then it's going to look a little inhuman, and I had to focus more and paint what I was seeing, not what I hoped was
Mhm.
there, what I was actually seeing. And again, the ideas of
Was that
composition, color
was
and
that the
light.
first time? Was that the first time that you actually painted yourself?
It was, yeah, yeah. I hadn't painted myself before, and
And the thing is that this is, because this was like a aha moment, you really started to like, kind of catch on to this. And then you ended up doing another one and another one and
yeah,
another one. You really kind of got hooked on that. But what I saw what you were doing is that you no longer really got into the nitty-gritty of all this stuff. You just ended up just really concentrating on how light falls on your face.
that was it. Yes, it's true that the actual features weren't so important. It was the lighting and where I was putting the lighting in the room, practicing with that, and how to stand, how to just how to hold my head, light from this side or light from that side, because I did several, and then just and how to put my head back in the same place in the mirror, so I
Mhm.
was painting the same picture again. So there was a lot learned there about again portraits. It's a whole
Mhm.
different genre than a landscape.
But when we're actually putting in the lighting effect on things, that's basically, like I said, I talk to professional artists all the time, and they go, well, I've tried to loosen up my work and become more impressionist. And I sat there and I said, so what is impressionism? And they say, well, it's loose painting. And the thing is, for a lot of people on the outside of what we do, that's what it looks like. But when we're inside, it's like what you're doing as an impressionist is that you're trying to capture the impression of light onto objects.
Yeah,
And that's what impressionism is. So your paintings became very impressionistic because you knew you couldn't mull over your eyelashes and your tear ducts and stuff. That it really was this way that light hit your face. And I noticed that it got to a point where you weren't even really worried about if it looked like you. You just were kind of like caught up in that moment of, well, what's going on in my face right now?
yeah. It was to learn to pay attention to the light. That
Yeah.
this is so important. Like you talk about it, and people go, "Oh, Stefan's talking about lighting." Well, you're repeating it because it's so important. The everything we see is we can see it because of the light, and understanding how that's really working on a head or a form or the landscape, how that creates inspiration and energy and emotion, and why we want to remark to other people about what we
Mhm.
saw. It's always because of the light, and that light creates the mood. It creates the feelings. It creates everything in the painting.
Yeah.
So understanding that is so crucial. Like
And the thing
the
is,
shape of something is not important. It's how
and
big it is. It's not important. It's the light, man.
exactly. Exactly. And what's so crazy is that, I expose the story of light in the very first painting. you know, when we do the coaching. And it's not like it's a big secret. You do have to learn it though. And once you do, it's like you took off. You were like, at the beginning you were struggling getting one painting done. I think one of them took a couple of weeks, and now you're doing four a week. And it's just a man that's got passion. I mean, now you don't have to mull over the drawing aspects and worry about all this stuff. You just get paint on there and you realize that you've got the
Yeah.
freedom of knowledge. Once you learn this, it's like it's no wonder you can get that many paintings done in a short period of time.
It has definitely freed me up, much more freedom and speed towards getting where I want to with the painting. Because I just as you talk about, just break the canvas down into thirds. That's easy. I'll think about the focal point. It's going to be in the middle there. Okay. I'm going to think about, okay, what's going to be the focal point? And I, you know, to create the composition on the canvas, it might be just a few little quick pencil marks, or often not even that. It's just I'm in there with the smaller brush and a little bit of asphaltum now, and some Gamsol, and the sketch is very quick. I'm just locating the geography of the scene, or the geography of my face, or the geography of the composition. It's all very quick because before I've even put my brush on there, I know where I'm going with it. I see it so clearly in my mind now. I mentally see the finished piece, and I know where I'm going, and I know what I want to do with the background. If I want to abstract it or have detail or not have detail. The
And
foreground.
all of this just in 6 months.
Yeah.
That's what's so crazy. I mean, we get on the phone. I'm like going, "Oh my God, dude!" It's like I mean, you just got it. And the thing is, it's not a lot, but man, you have gotten so many insights just listening to how quickly. And I was thinking, it's kind of like learning how to play the piano. It's really complicated, but once you learn how to play it, it's like you're not even thinking about it. And the same thing with writing letters. If you don't know how to spell and all this stuff, it takes you a long time. But once you kind of have these tools available to you, you're not thinking about whether your handwriting is sloppy or not. You're just putting words down. The pencil follows what it is in your brain, and you freed up to create art that is autobiographical. Yeah, and that's the key. I say that fine art is autobiographical, and I'm just dying to see what you're going to do in the next year when you start going out and painting, and these seashores and stuff up in Vancouver, because we get to see your experience, and you're not going to be laboring over, well, how should I paint a tree? You're going to be just reacting with what's in front of you. And I just see a huge future in your work, and a lot of collectors wanting to get your work because it's going to be a true filter of what it is that people experience and see.
I almost want to dash out the door right now and get
I
and get
know, I know.
on it. Yeah, I gotta get that camper. I gotta get the wheels happening that I can journey around throughout Canada, and capture these scenes. There's so much see here to even see in BC here,
Yeah.
and not having to travel far, which is so wonderful. And
Well,
that
one of the homework assignments that I had you do when we first started out here is, what did I say? Well, just step out your back door, you know? And I think it was raining or something. So you actually painted the view of the door from inside, looking out.
Yes. Yes, yeah, the
Right.
weather wasn't that great, so I pulled the curtain back, so the long window on my door, I could see right out into the yard. So yeah, I painted part of the room and then the view out the door.
Was that your
And
first experience of plein air painting?
no, no, that wasn't my first experience, no, but it was the first time I included the interior of my home in an outdoor view.
Yeah.
Definitely something different.
And it was memorable. I loved it so much. I mean, and I would tell students, it's like you don't have to go far. You just step outside and just start painting. It's like Judy Garland in, Over the Rainbow. Just like, well, all of your experiences are just right there in your backyard. You just have to click your heels. And so, not that you're wearing heels, I hope not, but if you do, hopefully they're red. There you go. So I'm going to go feed some horses. You are absolutely amazing. I couldn't have had a better experience talking with you. You are so much an old master. And
Oh,
just how you answer questions and stuff. It's like you're channeling Thomas Moran or Thomas Hill. You're just incredible. And I want to thank you for taking some time out and sharing some of that. I know it's going to inspire people. And I just look forward to you're just beginning. You're with me for 6 months. What is the next 6 months or the next 6 years going to be like?
exciting for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely
you're,
exciting.
you're great. You're great. So thank you so much for doing this with me. And I look forward to seeing you in coaching calls here real soon.
And thank you, Stefan, for having me on and having this conversation and for turning me on to this book.
I didn't ask you to do that. That was an unsolicited ad, but I'll take that. But yeah, you're great. I'll talk to you on Monday at our usual time. You take care.
Hi, Stefan.
Thank you. Bye bye. Well, hopefully you found that enlightened. Like I said, I'm in my studio right now in Mount Shasta. It's surprising that I have this beautiful ranch and this beautiful studio, and it's all because I made that decision at some point in my life that I wanted to become an artist. And all this is because of that one decision. And anybody can actually become an artist if they truly want to work towards that. So I invite you to make that first step, sign up for coaching, sign up for Patreon, get a hold of me, call me on my phone at 415 606 9074. And let's make this moment a moment where you turn your life around and do something that you want to do for yourself. If you want to get my book, you can go to my website at stefanbaumann.com, and there you can download a free book just by going to the website. Once you get to my website, you can get all the information that you need for workshops, my Patreon, my book club, everything that I'm up to, which is quite a bit. You can register for a workshop by just giving me a call at 415 606 9074. But don't waste any more time. Get yourself a coach. It doesn't have to be me, but give me a call if you want to see what it's like. This gives you an idea of what coaching is like, and I invite you to be part of our family and our program. So don't hesitate. Contact me, and I'll see you later. Bye bye. I'm Stefan Baumann, and I would love to introduce you to a new book that I just wrote on plein air painting. After 40 years, I finally sat down with one of the best authors that I could possibly imagine for this project and put together everything I know about painting outdoors. And this isn't just an outdoor painting book. No, these are techniques that you can bring into the studio, and they apply to watercolors, acrylics, gouache, and oil. You will be amazed at what you will learn with every turn of the page, every paragraph. We have worked through my videos, my information, my books, my blogs, and brought it all together. And over 2 years of editing, we brought it down to just the facts. This painting book has over 400 pages and almost 500 illustrations. If you see my videos and if you read my blog and you follow me on YouTube, you know that there's a lot of information. There's a lot of things you don't know that you don't know. I'm amazed at the quality of this book, the pages. It's a field guide. It's a book that you would take outdoors with you and paint on location. It's been organized so you could find your way through my keys. This book explains 40 years of teaching and knowledge one-on-one. All the information that I possibly know about painting is in this book. So run, don't walk, and order this book today.
Get this book. It's awesome.